In the last session, we looked into that interfaces object. This is one part of object-oriented programming. So we already have learned about encapsulation, inheritance, and interfaces. In the interfaces, these were the concept. We cannot create the method body method. We can have only prototype. Okay, and various examples related to that World Health Organization, US Medical, UK Medical, we created object for the Fortis class. We learned the various concept of love, how we can achieve multiple inheritance using the interfaces. And we also looked into some changes after C sharp 8, right? Like the static, we can create static method with body inside an interface, and we also can create an implemented method. Okay. So yeah, that was the things. So in this session, we are going to start the abstraction that is very similar to the interface. Okay, and it's a very famous interview question as well. In like every interviewer used to ask this question whenever you go for an automation profile. What is the difference between abstract and interface? So kindly pay your attention while looking into this. Let me create a new folder for that. Let's add folder. Let us say object-oriented programming and abstraction. Abstract. We are going to look into the abstract classes and abstract method. Okay. So I just created one folder called object-oriented programming abstract. Okay. Inside that, I need to create a class. So abstract class is also the same, just like we are creating the classes. We just need to use the abstract keyword. So if you need to create interface, then you need to select the second option. And if you need to class, whether it's a simple class or abstract class, you need to select the first option. If you need to create interface, then select this one. For now, we are creating class. So just give a meaningful name. For an example, let's create page class. Okay, page class would be common for further pages, just like if you need to create login page or home page or logout page, checkout page. Okay, so page might be a parent class for all of those. So let's select add. Okay, so we have created this class. Internal is the default keyword. Now, if you want to make it abstract class, then just add an abstract keyword before the class name. Over here, let's add abstract abstract. Now, if you have add this, then this class has become an abstract class. So what is the abstract class? Just like interface, we cannot create the object. Similarly, abstract class object cannot be created. Abstract class object can be created. Got it? Okay. So inside an abstract class, just like in interface, we created some in-implemented methods, right? Similarly, in this particular class, we can have methods. Okay, so we can create abstract method as well as regular method. So, okay, abstract method means the methods with uh, that abstract keyword. Okay, let us say public abstract, and just give a method name called title. Okay, so this is one of your public. Yeah, this is a void method. Means we are not taking any kind of return from it. So yeah. So you're like this is a method. Similarly, like in interface, we are creating method without body. So this is an abstract method. An abstract method will never take an body. So yeah, if you will try to assign it like this parenthesis to if you tries to define the body of this particular abstract method, then there would be an error. Like cannot declare a body because it's marked as abstract. Got it? Okay. So cannot define with the parameters or body. Is this in like so same definitions, just like US medical, what you like, only method declaration. So inside this, you can say abstract method won't have body, right? Only method declaration would be there. Similarly, you can create n number of methods as per your requirements. Just like let's create one more method called public abstract void, and let us say URL, right? Okay. Now you can just like these are the abstract method. So you can create regular methods as well inside an abstract class. So these are the abstract methods, and create a couple of regular methods as well. Let us say public void. Now let us say header. Okay. Yeah. So there is an header method as well. So we can say it. Let's print base class header method. And similarly, if you need to create more methods, just like there might be some other values that would be fixed, or we can say you if you want that the child classes should not allow to override those, then what you need to use, either you can create sealed method or you can create the static method. So just like for an example, public void, let us say you want to create one method called logo. So logo would be same for the every page, right? Public void, and let us say over here is that page logo. So if you will make it, let us say static, uh, always remember that we cannot override the static methods, right? This logo will always be with the page class only. Like the child classes will not cannot they can access this, yeah, they can use this from the parent, but they cannot override it. They can override the header, title, and URL everything, but they cannot override the logo because it's a static method. Similarly, you can make it sealed as well. Sealed means the method override, they cannot, the child classes cannot override it. Got it? Yeah. So this is my page class. In page class, we have total 4 methods. 2 of them are abstract method, one is regular method, and one is static method. Okay. Now let's create one more class that will implement this. Let us say add class called login page. Okay, so login, how to access, how to implement or inherit a class. If I need to implement anything, then I need to use the double dot keyword. Similarly, if I need to inherit some class, then the same. So I need to import, or I will say I need to implement the page classes, right? So you see, as soon as I'll write double dot page is my parent class, so there is an error. If I'll mouse over to this, then there is some warning. Login doesn't implemented inherited abstract method. That means the same error that we are getting at the time of interfaces. Hey, this is saying the class you are implementing page, these have to unimplemented method. If you need to implement it or inherit this particular page class, then please implement all these two methods, title and URL. So you can do that. Implement abstract class. So if we'll implement it like this, okay, then the error gone away. So these are, we can say, override methods. You see the override keyword is over there. Override methods. This is, so from where it's coming. Now we are assigning the body to the abstract methods. Just like in interfaces, we are assigning, we are implementing over here. So I can I say like these are the overridden methods, right? Public override word and title. Okay. So let us give and print over here. I would say login page title and this is login page URL. Got it. So inside this we have header and logo. This login class can have individual methods as well, right? So let us say public void do login method is there. This is the individual method of login class. And let us say for login we need string username and a string password. So let's print this login page. Login, let us say login with, I would say, username, right? And plus password, right? We need to log in with these two things, username and password. So you can have multiple ways to log in. At the time of method overloading, I have explained you. So can you create a overloaded method? Yes, of course you can create. Let us say you have one more do login method. So you can see what is method overloading. If we have different or type of these parameters are different and the method name is same. So just like take one more argument. For an example, let us say long phone number, right? Let's print this phone number. Yep. Okay, let's remove it from here. Yeah. So do login is the individual method. This is the overloaded method. This is an individual methods of login page class, right? Now let's create one more class. Just like login page class you have created. There, let's create one more page class. Let us say home page. Okay. So similarly, if you need to implement the page classes, then the same error would be over here. Means you need to implement, you need to provide the body to the abstract method inside the child class. So page is my parent class, home page is my child class. If I need to use the page class inside my home class, the home page class, or I need to implement or access the page class, then I must need to implement the abstract class. So how to implement it? Just give body to the abstract methods. So, or in other word, we can say it's an override method. Override means in the parent class as well, the same name method is available called title, and in the child class as well, the same name method is available. That's why the override keywords is mentioned over here. Okay, so let's print this as well. I would say home page title, and over here I would say home page URL, just like we had login page title and login page For every page, the title would be different, right? And the URL would be different. For an example, you can take any example, any real example. Let's open Flipkart, okay, or any other shopping portals. So just like this is the login page. So at the time of Selenium, I'll explain you that what is the title, how we can verify the title of the page. We can easily verify that on which page we are currently. So there is a shortcut JavaScript command for that. Let us say document dot title, not timeline, title. Yeah. So see, as soon as I'll write, let me clear this first. Let me stop this. Yeah. So you see online shopping sites for mobiles, electronics, furniture. So this is the entire is my title of this page. And this is my home page, or we can say login page, right? And similarly, you can see this is the URL. What is my URL? www.flipkart.com. This is my URL. Now let us say I like accounts or whatever. Let us say I navigate to the coupons part. So as soon as you will navigate to the coupon parts, you see the URL get changed. So means every page we may get the different title or different URL. You got it this time the URL like initially it was still here, now accounts, rewards, link home. URL has been changed. Similarly, the title may or may not get changed. Okay, so if you'll go into the main section, maybe title might be same or different. That depends. Now you see this is the title, T-shirt up to 50% to 80%. This is my title. You see the title is mentioned over here. If you can see my cursor, T-shirt. So similarly, like every page, can we have parent class inside page? We are not writing like what kind of title is this and what is the value of URL, because that would be an individual for each and every page. But there might be something that would be similar, just like header or logo. Okay, so just like Flipkart logo, this is the Flipkart logo. So that would be same for every page. You see the Flipkart is mentioned over here. If I'll go inside TV and mains moments, then this logo would always be the same, or this header would always be the same. You can navigate to anything, like if you go to MI, even though the header is always same and the logo is always same. You see, if you will go semi-automatic tool, yeah, you got different results, right? You got different results, but even your logo and your header is always same, but your URL has been changed and your title has been changed. That's why whenever we used to create an abstract class, we have to write in such a way those things which are constants, okay, that are never going to be changed in them, which are constant. We need to be define them with the fully qualified body, and some things which would be depend upon the implementations, just like title and URL. That is dynamic, not static values. So if these are dynamic, then just give and method prototype over here. Title is a method but without an body. Similarly with the URL. Now, if you are creating login page, then you can be, hey, this is my title of the login page. Hey, this is my URL of the login page. Over here, you can implement this and you can create some custom methods as well, because there might be some other functionality at login page. Okay, there might be like forgot password link is there. There might be some other ways. Okay. So in course of home page as well, as soon as I'll log in into this, I'll navigate to the home page, and on the home page, my home page would have a different title. So that means overridden method. In the parent class, there was a different title, and now I have given my own implementation to that. Okay. And in home page as well, we can create our custom methods, right? Let's create just like header. Header might be changed same, that depends. If the header is changed, I will say the home page header would be different, then I can override the header as well. Let me close these interfaces. Okay, so just like we have header over here, so we can create the overridden header as well. Let us say public void header. So yeah, there is a warning. I hope you got an idea like why that is warning, showing us warning. So we can say home page header. So this is saying home page header hides inherited member. Use the new keyword if hiding was intended. So it's saying if this is an you want to hide it, then if you need to create individual method, then use the new keyword. We already have studies this in the we already have looked into this in the previous sessions. Or if you want to override it, just use the override keyword over here. That means now you see there is an error. Homepage header cannot be override inherited method. You see because it's not marked virtual or abstract. So if you need to override it, then you see it's compulsory to mark these. Either you can create an abstract, either you can create an abstract header. So like we cannot create it as an abstract because header might be most of the cases the header is same. So either you can make it virtual. Okay, if you create it virtual, then only you can override it, right? We have looked into the virtual and override keyword. Or you can create directly to new. New means now this is not an overridden method. How you will identify whether it's overridden or not due to this particular override keyword. You cannot use override keyword over here. That means, hey, this your particular method is not overridden method. What you have done, you are just simply creating your new header method. Okay, and this is nothing to take with the header method inside the parent class page class. So for an example, I may need to make it override. Then let's say this is an virtual header. Then there would be no such error, right? Okay. Now let's create a test class to use all these logics. We created page class to child classes, login and homepage, and now we are creating the test class, just like we created the Fortis Hospital was the test class. So test class means the class in which the user will access all these functionalities. So user cannot access these login page code and he can access only the portal. For an example, let us say Flipkart test. Okay. So we have access Flipkart test. So inside the Flipkart test, let's create one man method. SVM double tap. So now you need to give it the permissions as well. If you really want to see that execution output, startup project, we have abstract Flipkart test. Yeah. Okay. So in the Flipkart test, how to access these? Let's create the object of the login page or home page to access all the methods inside this login page. Let us say LP is equal to new login page. Now you can create all the methods defined inside this login page dot. You can create title, right? Login page dot URL and login page dot header would be there, right? And you can create login page do login as well. Let us say you have two do login methods, two overloaded methods. One do login method is with 2 parameters and other one is with 3 parameters. So let us say I'm giving the username as admin and password as admin123. This is my username password. I can provide mobile number as well. If I'll not provide mobile number, then my first do login method will get executed. My first this method will get executed. Let me stop it. Don't want to see execution yet. Okay. And if we'll use the we will provide the phone number as well, then the second method will get executed. Okay. So you see one reference is over there and there is zero reference. Zero means we haven't used this yet. If I'll provide the phone number over there, then this particular do login will get invoked. Okay. So what type of this calling is? Title. So this is an overridden method, right? The title is inside the page class, but now we have given body to this inside the login page. So this is an overridden. This is also an overridden method. And header as well. Inside the header, we have used the override keyword. Okay, and in the parent, we use virtual keyword. Means the header is also an overridden method. And what is the type of do login? Do login is an individual method. Like this is the individual method of login page class. This is not coming from this is not coming from the page class. This is an individual method of login page class. Okay. So similarly, we can create the object of the home page class as well and access the method defined inside the home page class. Let us say HP is equal to how to create object. Use the new keyword. What is this? This is the object new home page. What is this? Is the type class type and this is the object reference. Remember? Yeah. Now use same homepage dot title. So this what is the difference between this title and this title? So this is the individual title of the login page and this is the title of home page. They are like entirely different. Implementation might get different as we see practically. And you can use homepage dot. So homepage dot let us say header or title as we have URL as well. HP dot URL. Just a second. Yeah. Now let me tell what is the difference between so these are two overridden methods. What is the difference between this header and this header? So this particular header is coming from the parent class because inside login page class we don't have any header method, right? And this particular header is coming from the home page child class, right? This is the overridden header method. And if we'll go inside this, then this is the page header method. And this particular header is the home page header method. This is the overridden header method, right? Okay. Any confusion so far? Similarly, just like for an example, you may have some other functionalities. Home page class as well can have individual method. Just like all these are overridden method. Home page class can have individual method as well. Let us say public void logout console dot write line. I can say user is logged out. Okay. Now we can call like hp dot logout as well. So this has become my individual method of the homepage class. So you see, this is how inside the test class you can call it. Okay. If we'll execute it and let us see the output, whether we got it correct or not. Let's wait for a second. And yeah, so this is how you see first login page title. Okay, login page URL. Now the lp dot header gives this output page header and login with this username and password. Now the second object started getting executed, home page object, then title, URL. Now this header is coming from the HP header, not the page header. This was page header because why? Because this is coming from the parent, the child class. The login page class don't have any overridden method, overridden header method, but the home page class have. That's why this is home page header and user is logged out. This is how you can implement it. So that discuss the concept of upcasting and downcasting we have discussed so many times. So let's look into that. Is that topcasting possible? Can we create object of this class login page class? Page, let us say p is equal to new page. Can we create it? So there is an error. What is the cannot create the instance of the abstract type or interface page. Same, I have given you this over here. Abstract class object cannot be created. So you cannot create the object of the abstract class, right? It's not allowed in C sharp. Okay. Can you topcast it just like interfaces? Is the topcasting is allowed? Let us say topcasting. What is the topcasting? Remember, like the child class object concepts are like getting repeated. So just for your like convenience, so try to remember because we will use all these concepts every time, like most of the time when we'll deal with the Selenium. Child class object can be referred by parent abstract. Yeah,
Hello, Aniket.
yeah,
There was some problem with my internet, so
okay,
somehow I think I have lost in the middle. After
okay,
logout, I have top casting you were discussing, and
yeah,
that
yeah,
I have.
yeah. It's okay. I'll repeat it. Don't worry. Now you can see my screen.
Yes,
Okay. So after logout, I was discussing. So this is an individual method of homepage class, right? Did you see the execution of this program? The output.
yes, yes,
Okay, okay. So I hope you have understood about the header. This header is
yes,
coming from the parent page, and this is coming from the home page.
yes,
Okay. Now I just try to create the object of the page class. So is it possible? No. Why not? Because if you do try to do this, then you can see there is an error. You see, you cannot create object of the abstract and interfaces. Just like interfaces, we cannot create object. Similarly, you cannot create the object of. I already have given you this point. Abstract class object cannot be created. Okay. Yeah. Now we were looking into the top casting. So the interface top casting is possible. Yes, interface top casting was possible. And now we were looking into the child, this particular abstract uh, topcasting. So what is the topcasting? Child class object can be referred by parent subject class reference variable. That means we are trying to achieve what is the child class object. New, let us say login page is my child class. So child class object can be referred by parent abstract. So which is my parent class? Page class is my parent. Let us say login p is equal to new login. Is it possible? Yeah, there is no such error, compile time error. Okay. So yes, this is allowed, we can say. Right now, okay, this is allowed as I told you that. So now can I access like p dot title? Yeah, this is being allowed. P dot url and p dot header as well because this header is available inside the parent class and I can access. Can I access p dot do login? Can I access this because this do login is available inside the login page class and we are referring this to the parent. We cannot access this. Why? Again, the same concept. Which concept? Reference type check failed. Right? There is a reference type. Which type of reference is? This code failed. That's why. That means this particular method is available inside the login page class and you are trying to access by the reference of the parent class. So this is not allowed in C sharp. You cannot access that child class methods. Right? Because they have their own implementations. Parent class have access till their own methods only. P dot title URL and with the method the same method like overridden implementation will get called. Okay. So the thing to understand is here, can down downcasting is possible just like topcasting. So technically, of course not. Why? Because What is the downcasting? Downcasting means now we have to create the object of the parent class, and that need to be referred by just like new page. This time new page would get be referenced by login page. So can you write it like new page? No, you cannot create the object of the abstract class. That's why technically at the compile time itself you will get an error, right? That's why topcasting is not possible at not possible. It will throw, I can say not possible at compile time. Yeah. So what is topcasting? Topcasting means just like we took an example of the car class as well. So topcasting means, what is this statement? This statement means login page is a page. Okay, login page is a page, just like BMW is a car. But the downcasting is just like this. L is equal to new page. So we cannot do that. This is downcasting. This is statement saying all the pages are login page. Is this possible? That all the pages are login page? No, this is not true. This is the false statement. All the pages are not true. The above statement is true. What is the above statement? Login page is a type of page, yes. Just like BMW is a car, yes, it's right. But all the cars are BMW, that is wrong. All the cars are not W. There might be some different classes as well. Just like all the pages are not login page. Some other pages as well, just like home page, logout page, all those things. Yeah. So the downcasting is not possible. Only that topcasting is possible over here. Got it? Any question, confusion, Aswini? Are we good so far?
Yes, no questions.
Okay. Now, my question to you is that, let me write it over here. Can we create constructor of the object abstract class? Can we create constructor of abstract class? So just tell me, when in constructor get invokes? कंस्ट्रक्टर कब इन्वोक होता है, कंस्ट्रक्टर कब बनता है?
When we create the object of the
Good.
class.
Yes, very nice. So as soon as we'll create the object of that class, just like over here we have created object of the class. So which constructor get invoked this time? The default constructor. Although the default constructor will not visible, that is like inner, we can say that is the inner implementation of the C sharp, but the default constructor. Similarly, we can create parameterized constructor as well. In the constructor topic, we have seen that.
Yes.
So my question is was that can we create uh, the object of constructor class? So the answer is strange yes. Even though you cannot create the object of the space class, even the C sharp allows you to create the constructor of the space class. How? Let's look into this practically. Answer is yes. Let's create one constructor. How to create constructor? The class name and the constructor name would always be the same. So let us say public, I would say page. I need to look. You see, there is a no such error. That means constructor at compile time successfully got created. Print this. Always remember this. This is an tricky interview question. This is base class default constructor. Let's see. Default constructor. Or you can create parameterized constructor as well, just like public is. You can create it like this, integer a. Okay, console dot write line. You can say is. So this is one parameter page class that was default, and it's one parameter constructor, right? and a, or you can see the value is a. Okay. So you see, C sharp allows you to create a constructor of that abstract class, even though we cannot create the object of the page class, even we can create the constructors. How we can call them and how these will get called? Always remember, these constructor will get called when you will create the object of the child class. Which is my child class? Let us say home page or login page is my child class. This login page is my child class. So as soon as you will create the object of this, just like over here, if you create the object of this, then what will happen? First, over here, like the default constructor, we cannot see that, but there is a default constructor already there, right? So that will invoke, and before that, this page class default constructor will get called. Okay. So सबसे पहले the thing will get executed. सबसे पहले क्या चीज execute होगी? The page class constructor. Then other execution will happen. Okay. So the page class parent class constructor will get executed at the very first. Then will execute the child class objects. Okay. Let me. Here is my test class. If I'll run this particular thing, I'll again execute this. Let's see the output. What is my first execution statement? You see, page default constructor get called. Page default constructor at the very first page default constructor will get invoked, and then login page title, login page URL. And again, at the time when we created the object of the home page as well, then the page default constructor, because that is also implementing the page parent class. Again, when we did typecasting, topcasting, then again the page default constructor will get invoked 3 times. So when this parent class constructor will get invoked, as soon as we'll create the object of that child class, then first at the very first, the parent class or the super class constructor will get invoked. Okay, got it. So yeah, this is a tricky question. So now my question is that can we create just like we have created the constructor of abstract class? Can we create constructor of the interfaces? Yes or no? No, we cannot. Always remember, this is one of the difference between interface and abstract. We can create the constructor of an abstract, but we cannot create constructor of an interfaces in C sharp. Okay. Now, for an example, if you have, this is your parent class, right? And you have one default constructor. For an example, you have a child class, just like login page. This is your child class, and you have defined a default constructor here as well. Let us say public login page. This is your default constructor. Initially it was invisible. Now you have given some implementation to it. Let us say you have login page default constructor, right? Now you have login page default constructor. So login page default constructor. Now if you need to execute it like login page, which will first get printed? Login page default constructor or page class default constructor, or like one of these only page class or only login page? Which constructor will get printed or get invoked by this line? This will go inside this Here is my default constructor for login page. Now this is implementing the page class, and we already have looked into the page class default constructor. So what would be my expected output? Let's execute it and analyze it. You see, even you have login page default constructor, but as I told you that every time at the very first, the parent class default, parent abstract class default constructor will get invoked. So at the very first, page default constructor got invoked, then login page default constructor. Always remember this concept. If we have default constructor inside the child as well as in the parent abstract class, then first at the very first, the parent abstract will get invoked and then the child default constructor. Okay. So yes, this is the point, and the second point is that as I told you that we cannot create the object of the abstract class, we cannot create object of the interfaces, and one difference between these, we cannot create constructor for that interfaces. Okay. So Aswini, can we extract it or is this fine? Like, can you go beyond 8:30?
No, actually, I have to run now. Beyond
Okay.
8:30, little bit difficult for me.
Okay.
If we manage to log in by 7:15, then we can have till 8:30 tomorrow.
Okay. 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 I'll try.
What do you
So,
what do you think?
I'll actually I have some meetings in the morning hours with you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So if there is no SS meeting, then I'll let you know. Otherwise, this like 7:30, strictly 7:30, we will all log in to 8:30. And yeah, so it's fine. Then tomorrow we'll explain like some more concept. Okay. Is it compulsory to define abstract method in abstract class? Just like this is an abstract class called page class is an abstract. So it's compulsory to define all the abstract methods just like this. So all these concepts we'll discuss in the upcoming class. So it's fine for the day. See you tomorrow.
thank you.